Hi, I'm Ralph Albert Thomas, CEO and Executive Director of the New Jersey Society of CPAs. And I want to thank you for joining us for this special edition of IssuesWatch Live. I'm joined by Jeff Kasman, the Society's Vice President of Government Relations. Jeff?
Good morning, Ralph. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. News about the coronavirus is coming to us at dizzying speeds. So we're going to take the next 20 minutes or so to highlight some of the most important developments impacting CPAs, their clients, and businesses. We'll cover issues here in New Jersey as well as at the national level. We invite you to submit your questions in the comments field or email them to us at feedback@njcpa.org. We'll try to answer them either during the broadcast or just afterwards. We may not have all the answers to all of the questions, but we'll do our best. NJCPA members, remember that you also can post questions to the open forum on Connect at connect.njcpa.org. In addition to Jeff and I, we also have Don Meyer, the Society's Chief Marketing Officer, and Rachel Bell, our Content and Communications Director, with us. They'll be monitoring your questions and may pop in from time to time. In our effort to practice social distancing, we're each coming to you from our own separate locations. I'm here at home, and others are either at their home office or some are in the office and whatnot. So please bear with us if we experience any technology hiccups. We hope that won't happen. So let's get started with some of the most important federal tax issues. The federal filing and payment deadline has been extended to July 15th. A few days ago, the IRS provided answers to a number of frequently asked questions. Here are a few highlights. First quarter estimated payments that were due April 15th have been extended to July 15th. However, second quarter estimated payments are still due on June 15th. The deadline for 2019 IRA, HSA, and retirement plan contributions has been extended to July 15th. Extension requests can be filed through July 15th, and the return is due October 15th. See the link on your screen for the full list of FAQs. More recently, the IRS announced a sweeping series of steps to provide relief for those impacted by COVID-19. They're calling it their People First Initiative, and key actions include the following. Existing installment agreement payments due April 1, suspend offering compromise payments until July 15th. Field collection activities and automated liens and levies will be suspended. No new field, office, or correspondence audits will be started. Again, see the link on your screen for the full list of actions. We received an important update yesterday about IRS practitioner services. Due to staff limitations, the PPS line, the e-services help desk line, and the e-services fire and air system help desk are closed until further notice. The IRS is temporarily suspending acceptance of income verification express services, IVs, requests at this time and is experiencing delays with existing IVs processing as well as CAF number authorizations. Additionally, they are unable to answer any questions as yet on stimulus payments. They hope to resume normal operations as soon as possible and apologize for the inconvenience during this difficult period. So now, Jeff, I want to turn to you to update us on what's happening from a tax standpoint here in New Jersey.
Sure. The issue we know so many of you are interested in is when is New Jersey going to extend its tax filing deadline? Well, we've been assured by our contacts in the governor's office and in the legislature that the deadline will be extended. Our understanding is that the extension has been held up because the governor's office is trying to find a way to do it that is as least disruptive as possible to this year's fiscal budget and next year's fiscal budget. In fact, when asked about this yesterday at a press briefing, the governor said he will almost certainly, those are his words, be granting state taxpayers an extension. But he did not say when that would be announced, and he did not say when the extended deadline would be. Personally, I believe we'll see an announcement in the next few days. There's also a bill on the governor's desk that would extend the deadline to June 30th. However, we're advocating for the date to be changed to July 15th to match the federal deadline extension. As soon as we hear anything, we'll be sure to share that on all of our communication channels. In the meantime, I suggest that you read the brand new article that just came out this morning on in New Jersey Spotlight, and it's all about this delay in announcing the extension. It's available at the link on your screen, and like I said, it is hot off the press. Now, many other states have already extended their deadlines. New York, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut have extended to July 15th. But please note that Connecticut's announcement only refers to personal income tax returns. Also, the AICPA is tracking state-by-state tax extensions and relief measures. So far, there are 31 states that have extended to July 15th and another 6 states that have extended to other dates. Hopefully, will be added to that list shortly. You can access the full list at the link on your screen. Also, this morning, again, just this morning, we received word that the New Jersey Division of Taxation is cutting back on the availability of their call center. Beginning today, the new hours are Monday through Thursday from 9 to 4. There will be no Friday hours. The practitioner's line will still receive priority during open hours. Ralph?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are running down some of the most significant coronavirus-related issues impacting CPAs, their clients, and businesses here in the state of New Jersey. Again, I'm Ralph Albert Thomas, the CEO and Executive Director of the New Jersey Society of CPAs, and I'm joined by Jeff Kazerman, the Society's Vice President of Government Relations, and we also have with us Don Meyer, our Chief Marketing Officer, and Rachel Bell, our Content Director. So, Jeff, can you fill us in on some other New Jersey developments that are happening?
Sure, will do. The NJEDA, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, just approved yesterday and announced a package of grant and loan programs for small and mid-sized businesses and nonprofits hit hard by the coronavirus crisis. The EDA estimates the initiatives will support between 3,000 and 5,000 enterprises. I believe the total amount that they're going to be releasing is $80 million or thereabouts. Additional details, including complete eligibility requirements, will soon be available at cv.business.nj.gov. It may already actually be up there. There continue to be New Jersey businesses that are unsure if they're allowed to stay open. And this, the governor's executive order from about 2 weeks ago was very hard to understand, but it's been clarified. And there's some great guidance on the New Jersey Gov website. See the link on your screen. That's a really excellent site, and it has all the details and interpretations on who can stay open and what they need to do if they are staying open. Now, on Wednesday, Governor Murphy signed legislation to expand the state's temporary disability insurance and the family leave insurance programs to provide more workers with access to paid leave benefits. The crisis is also affecting New Jersey's bottom line, as you probably all know. The treasurer announced this week that nearly $1 billion in spending has been frozen. The most significant item in that list of program suspensions is more than $140 million for the Homestead Benefit Program. You can see the full list of cut spending or suspended spending and the programs they're applied to in the list at the list at the link on your screen. Now, I suppose this is a little bit of sunny news. As dire as the state budget is for this fiscal year and next fiscal year, it is important to note that the federal government will, in one way or the other, be sending us billions of dollars in relief. In fact, the CARES Act, which was passed by the U.S. Senate unanimously, and which will almost surely be passed by the House and signed by the President in a few days, this act provides New Jersey with $3.5 billion in aid. I think even more will be coming over the next year. This same sort of aid was given to New Jersey during the Great Recession, though not quite as much, as its economic impact was not as great, at least not immediately. That said, you can be sure that whatever we get from Washington is still not going to make up for the losses the state has experienced. So, Ralph, can you speak a little bit about that business coalition that we joined recently?
Yes, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, as Jeff mentioned, the society has become part of a business coalition that's being formed, that's being led by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. And it includes about 30 to 35 other organizations and associations. We're currently drafting recommendations for legislative and executive initiatives to help the hundreds of thousands of small business owners, nonprofit organizations, and independent contractors in New Jersey who are being hit hard by the crisis and have no government programs to fall back on. Currently, and we just started really a couple of days ago, we've come up with 20 recommendations so far, and we will share them with you once they are finalized. Any updates after today's phone, and then we are meeting at least twice a week on this initiative with the hope of delivering something to the administration and legislative leaders by the midweek of next week. Here are a few additional things that New Jersey has rolled out. New Jersey's official COVID information hub is at covid19.nj.gov. There's a job portal that lists companies that are hiring right now, and you can find that by visiting jobs.covid19.nj.gov. The New Jersey Department of Labor has provided a list of benefits and protections employees are eligible for, including a chart that shows under which COVID-19 scenarios a person would be eligible for earned sick leave, unemployment insurance, temporary disability, family leave insurance, or workers' compensation. So visit nj.gov/labor. Again, nj.gov/labor. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're discussing important commerce-related issues impacting CPAs, their clients, and businesses. And again, for those who just joined, I'm Ralph Albert Thomas, the CEO and Executive Director of the New Jersey Society of CPAs, and I'm joined by Jeff Kazimer, the Society's Vice President of Government Relations. I invite you to submit your questions in the comments box or email them to us at feedback@njcpa.org. Jeff, could you fill an entire? Jeff and I know we could fill an entire session talking about the federal aid packages and what's happening in New Jersey. But Jeff, can you give us a few more highlights of what's happening with federal aid packages?
Sure. The United States Department of Labor has provided guidance on how employees and employers can take advantage of the protections and relief offered by the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which was the first piece of major legislation that the president signed. The provisions apply to certain public employer and private employers with fewer than 500 employees. Small businesses with fewer than 50 employees may qualify for some exemptions. Generally, the Act provides that employees of covered employers are eligible for 2 weeks of paid sick leave on the employee's regular rate of pay, where the employee is unable to work because the employee is quarantined and or experiencing COVID-19 symptoms and seeking a medical diagnosis, or 2 weeks of paid sick leave at 2/3 the employee's regular rate of pay because the employee is unable to work because of a bona fide need to care for an individual subject to quarantine or to care for a child whose school or child care provider is closed or unavailable for reasons related to the coronavirus. And lastly, up to an additional 10 weeks of paid expanded family and medical leave at 2/3 the employee's regular rate of pay, where an employee is unable to work due to a bona fide need for leave to care for a child whose school or child care provider is closed or unavailable for reasons related to coronavirus. The CARES Act, which was just passed by the Senate on Wednesday, I believe, and is scheduled to be voted on by the House today and signed by the president shortly thereafter, it contains a number of measures to help businesses and individuals. As I mentioned before, the president will probably sign this within the next few days. So here's a few highlights of the CARES Act. There's direct payments to individuals. The bill would provide a $1,200 refundable tax credit for individuals and $2,000 for joint taxpayers. Taxpayers with children would receive $500 for each child. These rebates would not be counted as taxable income. It is a credit against tax liability. The rebate begins to phase out at $75,000 for singles, $112,500 for heads of household, and $150,000 for joint taxpayers. There's also expanded unemployment insurance, including a $600 per week increase in benefits for up to 4 months. There's $350 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, which will help small businesses make payroll and cover other expenses from February 15th to June 30th. And taxpayers would be able to take up to $100,000 in coronavirus-related distributions from retirement plans without being subject to the 10% tax for early distribution. Required minimum distributions would be suspended for all of 2020. The bill also delays payment of 50% of 2020 employer payroll taxes until December 31st, 2021. The other 50% would be due December 31st the following year. For self-employment rates, 50% would not be due until those same dates. You can read more details on both of these aid packages at the link on your screen. So, Ralph, can you tell us some more about what's happening on the national level?
Hey, real quick, this is Rachel. Before you head on, we had a question from a viewer asking for those checks that are going to be sent to individuals. How will they be basing them on 2019 returns, 2018 returns? So what we understand is that the rebates will be based on 2019 tax returns, but if the filer has not filed for 2019 yet, they will use 2018.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yep.
And we have one other question also submitted. And if you don't know the answer to this one, Rachel and I can do a little research. The question is, can you confirm that the family leave and sick leave provisions only apply to those who were employed as of 4/2, as of April 2nd? So if a worker is laid off prior to this date, the employer does not have responsibility as it now stands, correct? And if you're not sure of the answer, Rachel and I do some quick research and we can look it up.
Yeah,
Not
I
sure.
think we probably have to do some research on that, and we will get back to with an answer for that question.
Okay, we'll do some research and we'll see if we can get the response before we sign off. Otherwise, we'll post the response afterwards.
Okay, thanks. So Jeff, thanks for that update. On other national issues, the U.S. Small Business Administration is deferring payments on existing SBA loans from previous disasters. For those of you who are members of the American Institute of CPAs, if you are financially impacted by COVID-19, the AICPA Benevolent Fund may be able to help you. Learn more at aicpa.org/benefit fund. Again, if you think you may need assistance, go to aicpa.org/benefit fund. The AICPA is also leading a coalition of payroll processors who are urging the federal government to use their existing channels to distribute any funding to businesses. You can read more about this at the link on your screen. The AICPA has also developed a 9-point plan to support the economy and businesses. They are calling on Congress and the Trump administration to take the following steps. For all businesses, suspend all required debt payments, including principal and interest, for mortgages and small and medium-sized business loans. Waive all loan covenants for 6 months. Allow 3-year net operating loss carrybacks. For small businesses, establish a federal payroll grant to fund small businesses. Freeze rent or mortgage payments. Provide relief from banking and credit card payments. For employees, they're expanding access to unemployment benefits, support employees in the hospitality industry, expand access to 401k assets. You can read more about this 9-point plan at the link that's on your screen. Jeff, I know there have been some developments with regard to student loans. Can you tell us what's happening in that area?
Yeah, sure. We were glad to see some loan relief regarding the U.S. Department of Education as well as the New Jersey Department of Education. We do have a special task force working on student loan debt issues. So this is an issue that our members are passionate about and that, has really grown as an issue across the country. I think there's 1.6 trillion, not billion, trillion dollars owed by 44 million people in America. So let me just read to you or tell you about some of these loan relief measures taken. So from the federal government, all borrowers with federally held student loans will automatically have their interest rates set to 0% for a period of 60 days. Borrowers will also have the option to suspend their payments for at least 2 months. Student loans are also addressed in the CARES Act, which is the bill that passed the Senate. Student loan repayment assistance would be considered an educational assistance benefit alongside tuition assistance programs, meaning employees can exclude any employer student loan contributions from income up to $5,250 per year. Any money received under tuition assistance or other qualifying educational assistance programs would be deducted from this limit. The provision in its current form expires at the end of 2020. But if engagement is high, the impetus would be to make it permanent. However, taxpayers who take advantage of the student loan interest deduction will not be able to double dip. That is, they will have to subtract any employer contributions that were applied towards interest. Here in New Jersey, the Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, also known as HESA, is offering flexibility with New Jersey class family loans. No late fees will be charged, and borrowers can apply for loan relief due to temporary disability, unemployment, and financial hardship. See the link on your screen.
Okay, I'm going to jump in with another. Go ahead, Ralph.
I just wanted to jump in real quick on the student loan thing. The coalition that we're looking to join, we actually submitted a couple of recommendations on that regard for going forward as well. And we can certainly post those recommendations up so that our viewers will understand what some of the things that we're advocating for individuals here in the state of New Jersey on a student loan basis.
Okay, with our final
Well, hang on, Jeff. Let me just jump in. We've been getting a bunch of questions in. I'm not sure we're going to be able to answer all of them before we wrap up today, but as Don mentioned, we will post answers on Facebook for any questions that we can't get to. I was able to clarify one of them. Going back to those checks that will be sent to individuals, that's a rebate. So the question was, will these rebates be shown as a prepayment of the 2020 refund to the taxpayer and therefore would need to be repaid? Some guidance that the AICPA published, which you can access at that link on your screen, says that they are being treated as advanced refunds of a 2020 tax credit. And therefore, taxpayers will reduce the amount of the credit available on their 2020 tax return by the amount of the advance refund payment they receive.
Thank you, okay. Rachel. Anything more?
Not yet.
Other question? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
But don't have answers yet. So
right. I guess we should add that all of these links that have been showing up on your screen, as well as more, are available where, Rachel, on our website?
Yeah, so up on your screen is one single link to njcpa.org/coronavirus/links. And so they're basically in the order that we've covered the topics, with the exception of jumping in with these questions. But links to everything that we've talked about should be available on that page, and we'll add more as we go along.
Yeah, actually, there's even more than what we've spoken about, right, Rachel?
Yes.
I couldn't even make it through that entire list. So back to where we were, just some quick items. The AICPA, American Institute of CPAs, has provided some relief for firms that have a peer review scheduled to commence prior to July 1st. Please see the link on your screen for more details. The Public Company Accounting Oversight Board is providing registered audit firms up to a 45-day relief period from inspections. Firms still need to reach out to their designation inspections point of contact to take advantage of this. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, is giving public companies a 45-day extension to file certain disclosure reports that otherwise would have been due between March 1st and July 1st. Regarding the CPA exam, Prometric has temporarily closed testing centers in the United States and Canada. And the National Association of State Boards of Accountancy, NASBA, has recommended to the boards of accountancy that notices to schedule, which are known as NTSs, those notices to schedule with expirations between April 1st and June 30th, they are recommending that they be extended to September 30th. At
Jeff,
this time,
before you continue on the exam, I think also NASBA is looking for those individuals that have taken parts and are at risk for the 18-month completion. They're also going to be looking at extending that. That's for individuals that have passed parts of the exam. Yeah, and once you start passing parts, you have 18 months to complete the full exam. So individuals who haven't done that, they're going to, I think, be providing some relief on that 18-month completion standard. Okay.
sure. Regarding the notices to schedule, NTSs, which I was talking about, there's nothing at this time, no action that is required by exam candidates, and there's no need to contact NASBA or your Board of Accountancy now. Updates will be provided when NTS extensions are completed. And the last item that I have is that the Society's premier sponsor, ADP, has provided a very useful tool to track federal and state employment tax changes. You can access that link on your screen. on your screen. Ralph, that's all I have.
Okay. Are there any more questions before we come down the home stretch here?
Yeah, I think there's at least one more that I have the answer to. The question was regarding contributions to retirement plans that are normally required, and was that automatically going to be extended? So again, in that same Journal of Accountancy article, it says that they are going to be extended, that the required minimum distribution rules for 2020 will be suspended, and that delays in making retirement plan contributions will also be extended. So you can visit that link in our list of links for more details.
See, I said we're covering everything in those links.
There was also a question about whether college graduates that just started to work in 2019, should they file their 2019 return ASAP in order to be eligible for the $1,200 refundable tax credit. From what I've read, my understanding is that if they want to get it as quickly as possible, they should file, but they won't be left out of the credits or of the stimulus checks if they don't file, say, until the July 15th deadline. So it's better to file as quickly as possible, but they will be made whole if they end up filing a little bit later, closer to the July 15th deadline.
Okay. Any other questions out there that we can take at this time?
Someone did ask if once the CARES Act is signed, will we be providing any webinars or training on that? And that is certainly our desire. If we can't pull something together ourselves, we have plenty of partners out there who will, and we'll definitely publicize those links as soon as we have them.
Yes. And I think too, we also have some other programs out there related to, this, the crisis that we're in for individuals to help or assist their clients. And so you should go to our website and see those programs that we're offering that are associated with COVID-19. All right. Well, if there are no other questions,
Well, just one last
Don?
thing, Ralph. There are some questions that we haven't thrown out to you and Jeff or Rachel and I have not addressed. We will do some research on those questions. So if you want to check back later, if you submitted the question to find a reply, we'll make sure best we can. If we have to consult some of our members, we'll see if we can get answers to those questions.
Yeah,
Don, where would those answers be posted or for individuals to see?
Right in the same spot, right? Right where,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
All
think maybe what I'll do, so we'll post them in the Facebook comments as replies, but I'll take the full list of questions and answers that were submitted and add them to that /coronavirus/links URL that we keep giving out so that people can easily see all the questions and answers.
Okay.
I would also add that those of you who are NJCPA members, you can always post a question on our Open Forum Connect site on our website, or the State Tax Interest Group Connect site, or our Federal Taxation Interest Group Connect. So, I mean, I've used it myself. We have a lot of experts who are posting things and answering questions all the time. People who have, a great deal of technical expertise. So don't forget to use those resources.
Well, thanks, Jeff. You took a little bit of my closing thunder there.
I didn't know if you were going to do it, so.
Oh yeah,
just wanted to make sure.
But that's okay. That's okay. But I certainly want to thank Jeff, Rachel, and Don, and Mark Rain, who you can't see, who's our video choreographer extraordinaire here for making this this event possible for today. And but I'll remind you that the NJCPA is continuing to bring coronavirus related webinars for free. You can access the list at the link that's on your screen. And stay tuned for we'll do a daily check on our website for any updates that are coming about. As we talked about earlier, things are happening at lightning speed, and changes are going to be. Also, each day at approximately 2 p.m., the governor does a briefing. So if you have an opportunity, just want to put your feet up and take a breather, you can tune into that and get sort of the latest and greatest that's happening here in the state of New Jersey.
Rachel, where can they find that, Rachel, the 2 o'clock press conference?
It's being broadcast. It's being broadcast on NJTV, on NJ.com's website and Facebook page, NJTV's website and Facebook page. So it's pretty readily available. I'm sure plenty of other places as well, but those are the spots I've been watching.
And I think it's also being carried on the major networks too. I've tuned into those as well. So take a break out. They're usually about half hour to 45 minutes, depending on questions. But you're able to get some of the updates on what's taking place recently. So again, we will continue to post updates on our website and social media, as well as our member open forum on Connect. And we may even hop back on and do another one of these if any breaking news that we want to make sure that you're aware of, so that you'll be up to date. I want to thank Jeff, Don, and Rachel, and certainly Mark, who has helped to facilitate all of this and all the behind the scenes thing. To each of you that are listening, we hope you'll have a great day. Most importantly, stay safe and be healthy. And thank you for tuning in to this special edition of IssuesWatch Live.